All right.
It's us, and we are.
We're back. We're back. We're
Hey, out
so
there, you
excited.
again.
Hey.
Got to do my I'm back dance. Woo!
Exactly.
Oh, that's yours.
Right.
Yours look more like the robot.
It's supposed to be it. No, no. So,
Hello, hello, hello. I don't know who
Hey,
I will have on
everybody.
tonight, but somebody come and holler at us. Holler at
Right.
your girls.
Yes. We're so excited. It's been a while. If you were part of our Water Cooler Wednesdays, we used to do on Facebook, but we're back now. We decided to bring everybody over to YouTube, and we're
Hmm.
excited to be here to offer great information about the home buying process.
Oh, sorry.
So, right. So, in case you don't know, my name is Dione Branch, and I am with Allure Dream Homes, brokered by EXP. And then with me is,
Lisa J. White, the house money mama with Nexa Mortgage, your broker of choice.
yes, yes. So, Lisa, we wanted to come to you all today just to say to get started and make sure everybody's aware that we're back. But we want to also share with you some market update information, kind of tell you about some changes that maybe have maybe occurring that have occurred. They may be sorry have occurred
Right.
as of August 17th. So. Lisa, maybe you want to go ahead and start and share?
Yeah, so before we actually jump into that, why don't we talk just a little bit about just kind of where we want to take this, because we have been gone for, quite some time.
Yes.
And so now we kind of getting our feet wet again, by coming back after our hiatus.
Mm-hmm. Little sabbatical.
Yeah, a little sabbatical. So now we're back and better than ever and excited to bring all this content, all these great things, all this wonderful information to everybody who's willing to listen so we can help as many people as we are able to get in contact with. Um, Probably since we talked about it already, Dion, I think it'd be good just to let our audience know some of the things that we intend to do. Like, for example, the monthly market update.
Yeah.
So every month now, like we're going to do tonight, we thought it would be good to start with it tonight, but we'll do this for you guys every month now. So each month there's going to be a segment of one of our podcasts that will be dedicated to giving some kind of an update on the market. We may hit more than one area. Sometimes we'll get specific, because they're things that sometimes are only specific to a one particular locale, and so we may focus on stuff like that. But we'll always give you a general overview, if you will, of what the housing market is looking like, what the mortgage market is looking like, what interest rates are doing, stuff like that. So that way you can kind of be advised of how things are going, and you can watch a little, and take notes
Right.
and then factor all that information, as you're making decisions for your own home buying process or investment journey. The other thing we will be doing is we'll still be bringing guests. So we'll always have somebody that is an expert in their field, that have inspirational stories that can help with some of the things that you might be struggling with in your on your path. Because like, with the Water Cooler Wednesday, this is the path to your new home.
Yeah.
So
And we the last time we had a lot of great guests. Some of those guests will come back, and we'll
mhm,
actually have some new guests as well. So it's
yep.
great for us to bring you some of the people that really are important to the housing industry and share with you the knowledge that they have, because we don't have all the knowledge, but we have the friends and the guests that can share the knowledge with you.
Absolutely, we definitely do. But we do have top-notch education for you ourselves, just
Yes.
stuff for consumers, whether you're a home buyer, whether you're a home seller, or whether you're a home owner. Maybe you're not buying or selling, but you own a home. And sometimes it's good, especially this is, holiday season. Sometimes there are little tips and things like that, savvy tips for our homeowners that we can give you that might be helpful for stuff around the holidays or projects around the house just some little tips that we can kind of offer from some of our experience and experiences of people that we're in contact with. So we just wanted to give you guys an idea of what we would be planning on doing. Um, so I would say, how about, what about this? We talked about this a little bit, but I thought it would be a good idea if we share it with our guests. Maybe we can talk a little bit about why we do what we do
Okay. So you go first.
first. We be around each other too much. See?
Yes.
I knew that was coming. Okay, so actually my start in the mortgage field was really, it had nothing to do with me. It was my auntie. I love my auntie, Auntie Robin. And she was like, "You good at taking tests? You should go take the test and start working in this field because you could probably make a lot of money." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try it." I went and took the test. I didn't pass it the first time actually because I had too much of a big head at the time and I thought it was going to be easy. It wasn't as easy as I thought. So I really did have to go back and study, but I did pass the second time. Um, but that really was just my introduction into mortgage origination. And I work with a very small brokerage, black owned gentleman. His name is Ron Brown. And he gave me my mortgage calculator, which I actually still have to this day. That would have been like around 2006, 2007, I think. And I still got that same calculator. And you know what? I ain't even changed the batteries. It still works. So not like y'all really needed to know that, but but anyway, so when I really started off, I'm giving a full story. So when I started off, I really started, I think, kind of under the wrong pretense. It's just I started because my auntie said this is something I should do. Other people said that I'd be good at it. I really didn't see it in myself though. I was just like, okay, well, I'll try it, whatever. I didn't have a lot of passion about it. Fast forward to 2024, I'm a completely different person as far as that goes. I've realized and recognized over the years that this is a calling for me because it's more than just about being able to make a paycheck. Obviously this is my livelihood. It's how I care for myself and my family. But beyond that, I get to help people's dreams come true like every single day. People come and they talk about how people have told them that, like other mortgage professionals have told them that they can't be qualified. You'll never buy a house. They've told them that your credit is not good enough, or they told them, "Hey, hold on, I'm gonna get back to you. Let me look this over, and I'll get back to you." And then they ghost them. They never get back to them. Well, you don't get that experience with me because I know what it's like to struggle to buy a house, and so knowing that and experiencing that and seeing how to come through that, that helped me to now be able to do the same thing for other people. So for me, it's more now about one, educating, because I think that the power that we really get from knowledge is applying it. When you have somebody telling you something enough, you'll start to believe it. So the same
Mhm.
way that people started to believe that lie that they couldn't qualify, now
Right.
I'm able to come in with the truth and let them know that they can, and then I can prove it to them because I actually get them to the closing table.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so
And that's such a great feeling to be able to get people who may have experienced issues with other lenders or
yep,
in the past and not really know how to get to buy a house. They want to buy a house, but they're afraid.
yep,
They're you know they don't have a family history of home ownership and don't know what to do. So I agree with you. It's really nice to be able to provide and service to that crowd.
absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
And they could easily be the people who are forgotten.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we work with people who they may be the first person in their family to own property, to own a home, to invest in real estate. And, to them was like kind of like a dream. And they didn't know if it could really happen or not um, until they met us.
Yeah.
And then we proved to them that it could.
It can
So,
happen. Right.
so that's a good feeling to be able to do that for somebody pretty much every day. So,
Okay. Yeah, yeah, definitely. So my story, don't know. I think someone always has probably little faith, more faith in us before we have faith in ourselves. And so, a friend of mine has been doing real estate for maybe by that time 15 years. I know
Okay.
she has 20 years of service now, and she's a great mentor towards me. And but we were at our 9 to 5 job. She was actually getting ready to retire,
Okay.
and we were saying goodbye, and she was gonna go do real estate full time. And so I said, I'd like to do real estate. I've been following along with her, like going to, do this, do that, just kind of following along. She helped me purchase some property. And I was like, I'd like to do real estate. And a true friend, only a true friend would say, well, just do it then.
Now that's your girl right there.
Exactly. Right. So I did. I went and I took the course and started my real estate journey. And I really found it great to service people, just how Lisa has shared with us, people who actually need help,
Yeah.
haven't had the experience of being able to purchase or know what to do. And so that's really one of the reasons why we love Water Cooler Wednesday the most, is because we're able to educate you, whether it be here, online, or even while we're servicing you throughout your transaction. We're always behind you, giving you, just kind of encouraging you that it can happen. And so,
Right.
definitely, one of the great things about being a realtor is to be able to help people through this process.
Yep.
And if you ever want to do real estate, there's a lot of different hats that you wear. But once you get someone through all of those processes, all their worries, their fears, sometimes
Right.
your psychologist, sometimes you wear a lot of
Yes.
hats as a realtor. And so it's great to be a part of your transaction and help you through the process. So we are really excited about that.
All right. That's
Mhm.
good. So we both had a similar path then, because it was actually somebody else that told both of us, like, just do it.
Just
Do
do it.
this. Go do this.
Yeah. And here I am. Yeah.
So keeping that in mind, that is one of, obviously that's kind of our why, as they say, for what we do. Um, so that's why, 18 years later, I'm still here. I think I have a hero complex. I think that's
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
I like I like to feel like the hero. And I was the
Mhm.
one that was able to come through like Mighty House. Yeah, I come to save the day. Remember that cartoon? So, um, one of the things that I think is important to kind of hit on is that when we are talking about how to best help people, education is the biggest thing. So just being able to let you guys know, like for example, current market. So I did want to talk about that a little bit today. Actually, we'll both talk about it, but from kind of two different perspectives. I'm going to talk about it from the lending perspective, and then Miss Dion can talk about it from the real estate perspective, and we'll kind of go from there. So the market is still, we were talking about this earlier today and trying to figure out, is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Whose market is it?
Right.
Because on some transactions, it seems like it's the seller, and then on other transactions, it seems like it's the buyer. So we kind of have a little bit of both. It seems to me like it's 50-50 out there right now. I
Right.
think with some of the changes that have taken place with legislation and stuff like that, that is actually having an impact on how people are viewing things, because we're still getting used to some of the changes. But Dion can talk about that. But I will say that one of the things that I'm noticing now, it's still competitive. You still have people out there competing for a house, but you don't have like 20 and 30 people going after one property,
Yeah.
you know?
So during
Um,
COVID, it was a little different, right? We had
yeah.
lots of people, the interest rate was really low.
Mhm.
And so um, with that, we had a lot of buyers out there. And so,
Yeah.
yeah. So I don't know.
Yep.
I don't want to steal your thunder.
Oh no, you fine. You know how we
Right,
do. We work off each other.
right, right.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
So
But
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. I would say that too. That it was we was stir crazy during during the COVID time, 2020, 2021. It was everything was everywhere. It was that's indescribable.
yeah,
What happened during those couple of years is really indescribable. So, but we're not there anymore. So
right.
now you have sellers that are willing to give credits, and Dion is real good at that. She know how, I
Mhm.
don't know how she do it, but she got some kind of credit magic thing going on with sellers.
Right,
Because most of her contracts do come in with some pretty nice seller credits on them. So we do have people, that are willing to give credits now. They're not expecting you to bid 10, 15, 20, $30,000 over asking price in order to get a house. Although in some cases you are going to still need to bid over if you want to be competitive, 'cause and that's just normal. In the regular market, that's how it would be anyway. If you want to be competitive, that's one of the things that you can do. Um, I would say for my side that something that I've noticed that's a little different is scrutinizing pre-qualifications. I think I've gotten more calls in the past maybe year-ish than
hmm,
probably at any other time of people saying, "Hey, I just want to make sure this is a valid pre-approval," because we've had so many different characters, let's just say, that have not done things the way they're supposed to be done. And
yeah,
so then people like me, I do things the way they're supposed to be done every time. So they're calling me like, hey, did you run AUS? Did you look at credit? Did you confirm income? Did you do all these things? Yes, it says all that on my pre-qualification because I do a thorough job before I send somebody out there. And that comes, from the same thing we just talked about. I don't want to put somebody in a position where you have your heart set on your dream home and then you find out that I, as a loan officer, didn't do the part I'm supposed to do. So now you don't actually qualify. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we don't do business like that. We make sure that everything is done up front. So that way, when you go and find the house that you like within the context of the pre qualification, you can actually win the bid and we can get you to the closing table because all the numbers have already been worked out up front. So that is one thing I've noticed that's different. So with that, I would just encourage and admonish you, make sure you get your pre-qualification up front and do it with somebody like me who's going to do a thorough job. Because when you don't, it's going to bring heartbreak for you, to not be able to follow through with what you were trying to do. So pre-qualifications are very important. And one that's done adequately is probably even more important. Not just having a paper, but the gusto behind the paper. You need all of that.
right,
Um, I think that's the main thing that I've seen that's different. You know, Interest rates. Obviously, we have had some changes that have happened. The feds did lower the rates by 50 basis points. And what I mean by that is the overnight rates that they charge for holding money. So that's the rate that they're talking about when they say, they decrease rates by 50 basis points and stuff like that. That's not the mortgage rate. But because of the fact that I am a broker, I still have a lot of latitude with being able to be more competitive. So right now, if I were to estimate, most of my customers are probably falling around the 630, 640-ish range, somewhere around there as far as credit scores go, their middle scores. And I'm probably locking them around maybe a 6.125 or 5.9, something like that. So for me, rates, and this has been probably since about July. So for me, rates have, they've already experienced the decrease that you're going to see. I don't think it's likely that we're going to see mortgage rates decrease anymore before the end of the year. Now you may see that the Fed changes the overnight rate that they, meet about. They'll be meeting about that again. But do I think it is likely that interest rates for mortgages are going to, take a significant dive? I do not.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't.
And that's, a lot of people over time, we've heard a lot of people say, well, I'm waiting for the interest rate to go down. And
Hmm.
so what people don't understand is that um 3% to 2%, that was done so that we wouldn't um
Stop
basically,
buying. It
right,
was
we
it was
wouldn't.
done because in order to get people out there in the middle of a pandemic, mind
Yeah,
you, when you could die by going in somebody's house and getting this, COVID, you know what I mean? In order to
right.
get people to do that, they said, okay, well, if we lower these interest rates enough, people get out there and
People
they'll start looking at
people
houses.
start looking at houses,
Right.
right? So, and
Yep.
that was definitely a scary time. So now they raised the interest rates, and the interest rates were previously they went up as high as like a 7, or did they go to an 8? Did they get all the way up like 8?
We
Okay.
got we got we got in the eights. We
Right, we
definitely got in
got
the
to the
eights. Yeah.
8s. So, but the thing, but what I want to say that people don't understand is when we say we're waiting for the rates to go down. Years ago, 8 people were happy to get an 8. 8 was the
That's
norm.
so true.
7,
Yep.
6s, that's a normal rate. And so
Right.
we kind of
When I
spoiled.
first started in the industry around '06, '07, that was the average FHA interest rate was about 8.25%.
Yeah. And people
Yeah.
people were happy to get those rates. And so the norm has changed. So,
Yep.
you know, we have to understand that, because even at some point I purchased my house over 30 years ago, and we
Uh-huh.
were way higher than an 8. And so to be
Mhm.
excited, a lot of people were excited about going down to a 2 or 3%, which
Yeah.
also has caused an effect on the market as well. So
Right.
a lot of people are hesitant to sell their home because they have a
They don't wanna give up
3%.
their 3% interest rate,
Right.
right?
Right. So they have a
True.
3%, so they don't want to sell. So a
And
lot
here's a
of
tricky part also that's gonna go along with that, Dion, is that
mm,
this is why I believe in the saying, "Marry the house and date the rate,"
you're right.
because as interest rate starts to go down, you know what's gonna go up?
The prices of
Housing price.
houses.
The
Right.
price of the house,
Right.
exactly. So
And
if you
so
buy the house now with a higher interest rate, but the house itself costs more, you're financing less, you can always change the rate that you financing it, but you can't change the cost of the house.
right. And the thing about it is, what we are now experiencing is, a long time ago, there were, not a long time ago, but years ago, before COVID, prior to COVID, there
Mhm.
were homes that I could have a buyer that's looking for a house that may not be able to afford as much. And, like the average house might have been around 175,000, 180,000. You could find a now nice house that you would be interested in purchasing. Now, the average prices of homes have kind of doubled, right? So where we were at the 175, 185, the beginning prices of homes are really closer to 280,
Yeah,
$300,000 compared to
yeah.
before. So,
Mhm.
as Lisa and I are here trying to help everyone get into a new home, it has become a little bit more challenging because, unfortunately, everyone's income did not increase as much as the housing market prices has increased. And so, although it's still a challenge, it's a challenge, still are
Yeah.
here to help you. We do have some homes. We do have some opportunities for you that may be able to get you into those houses, but it will take a little longer to do it, whereas before it was not. But
Mhm.
and like Lisa said, the market is, what market are we in? A lot of, people will call and say, well, I know we're in a seller's market right now. I said, no, we're not in a seller's market. And, and people were like, well, can I offer, below asking price, because there's not a lot of buyers out here, and
Mm-hmm.
I want to decrease my price 10, $20,000. That becomes insulting to the seller, and because that's actually not, you're not in that market either. So
Right.
we're in what's called like a normal market, right? Normal market, normal interest rates. So we're just kind of normal. And it takes a little bit more effort in order to get you into those homes. But we're here for the challenge. So,
Right. I think the only real quote unquote challenge would be the fact that we have still a housing shortage. We
yes,
still don't, because the same thing what you said, we do still have people that have the 3% interest rate or have a 2% interest rate, or even, maybe close to 4, and they don't want to change that. So we do still have a bit of a housing shortage. So that still is problematic in our market right now.
yeah, yeah. So there's a lot of different things. So I wanted to share about the new buyers agreement.
Okay.
All right. So a lot of times when you get ready to start to purchase a home, we always tell you that you need a pre-approval first, right? And so we're always saying, and that has always and still will be the first thing that you need in order to go out and view properties. But as of August 17th of this year, um, they made some changes within the real estate world. And so those changes have affected the seller as well as the buyers. So if you are selling your home, there was a lawsuit that stated that the sellers were not aware that they were paying the co-agents commission. So, as a seller agent, I would come and I would previously negotiate commission for myself and for the agent that was helping to buy the
Right.
home. And
Yeah.
so, going forward, I can, as a seller's agent, I can only negotiate my commission and tell the seller what the fee is in order to work with me. Okay. So what happens to the co-buyer's agent? What happens to how do they get paid? Right? We used to say, "Oh, I could help you find a house, and there'll be no cost you for me to pay me." Like that used to
Right.
be. So that is no longer the case, and it is,
Mhm.
but we can't say that anymore. So what
Right.
right? So there's ways that we can work through this process, but the next thing is exclusive buyers agency. So you have a pre-approval, and now you have to pick the agent that you want to work with. So whereas before you might feel as though it's easy to just kind of go work with this agent, this agent, this agent. A lot as agents, we didn't want that, but you might have felt like, okay, I can go easily work with another agent. Now, when I'm helping you or any other realtor is helping you purchase a home, we
Mhm.
initially have to have what's called an exclusive buyer agreement. And during that agreement, basically what it states is that you will cover our commission. Okay.
Right.
But as the best agent that I can be for you, I'm going to still work with the seller and the seller agent to see if they will
Mhm.
cover that commission. And so
Right.
the goal of us working together would be for you not to have to cover that commission. But the process, in order for me to take you out to see any homes, we have to have an exclusive buyer agreement
Mhm.
set before we go out. Okay, so it's a little bit much. And as we get into it, I'm definitely sure we're going to have a session just on
Just
exclusive
on
buying.
that. Yeah.
Right. Just
Yeah.
so people understand. Just as much as we'll talk about pre approval, we'll talk about the exclusive buyer agreement going forward.
Right.
so people will understand how can they pay their agent to help them find a home. And so,
Mm-hmm.
and we understand that everyone doesn't have the additional cash, because we're working with you guys trying to make sure that we have ida grants for you, the
Down
neighborhood.
payment
Right, down,
assistance.
right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different programs and grants out here that we want you to be able to take a part of, and hopefully
Mm.
we'll be able to figure out a way to cover the commission as well.
Yes, ma'am. Very well said, Dion.
Thank you. All right. So we're wrapping up, kind of close to.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
because we're about 30 minutes in. So yeah.
mhm.
So I thought this was a great start for our restart for our Water Cooler Wednesday podcast.
Yeah.
And we covered a number of different things, like kind of explaining what we're going to be doing over the next, every episode, every month, some things that we're planning on, why we do what we do, some updates on some things that are taking place in the market, and just some legalities that have now impacted real estate. So I think this was a really good start, and we can pick up now from this, obviously next Wednesday.
Yes. So we will
This-
definitely see you next Wednesday, 6 p.m. So which whenever you're looking at this, make sure that the following Wednesday you're online with us.
Come on
Uh,
live. That's right. And
right.
don't forget to subscribe, like and
Mm-hmm.
subscribe so you
All
get the notifications when we do go live and you can come on and join us.
right. And I want to share our information with everybody so they can get in contact with us.
Okay.
So,
I think that's a good idea.
right. Right. So if you'd like to talk to Lisa about getting pre-approved, you can give her a call here. You want to say your number?
Hmm. It's
630
there.
381 5855. So you can
Mm.
always call Lisa for more information. And then if you want to talk to me about getting started in your buying process, you can always contact me and I can share all the information I know about purchasing a home with you. So, and my number is 773-819-6092. So we definitely want to thank you for joining us. We're excited that you are here watching us, and we will always be here waiting to give you more information. So don't forget to subscribe to our channel. All
All
right.
right. Have an awesome Wednesday, everybody.